Hey everyone, Victor is here, and in this video I want to talk about the nomenclature of carboxylic acids. So let's look at this guy over here. The molecule overall has 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms, which means that the parent name or the principal chain here is going to be propane. Now, in order to convert that into the name of the carboxylic acid, we are going to get rid of the E at the end of the name and staple oic acid to that. So that means that the name for my molecule over here is going to be propanoic acid. Pretty simple. So this way, when it comes to molecule with only 1 carbon, that is going to be methanoic acid, 2 carbons, that is ethanoic acid. Then for 3 carbons we already know that is going to be propanoic acid. Then we have butanoic acid, pentanoic acid, hexanoic acid, and so on. You got the idea. Now, since carboxylic acids have been known since forever, they also do have common names, and some of those common names are, well, common enough that we actually use them more often than the IUPAC names. So for the methanoic acid, we're going to use the name formic acid. For the ethanoic acid, that is going to be acetic acid, propionic acid for propanoic acid, butyric acid for butanoic acid. Then for 5 carbon for pentanoic acid, you will sometimes hear the name valeric acid, although it's not very common anymore. And of course for 6 carbon, since I already have it on the screen, that is going to be caproic acid. But you will only be responsible for the common names for the first 4, and the 3 and 4 carbon names are so similar to the IUPAC names that it will be really easy to memorize them anyways. But of course we're not going to be seeing straight chain simple carboxylic acids like that all the time. So let's talk about the substitutive nomenclature and how that works. So let's say I have this molecule over here. The first thing that we got to know about the carboxylic acids is that the carboxylic acid functional group has the utmost highest priority out of all functional groups, which means that we're always going to start numbering from the carbon of the carboxylic acid, and from that point we are going to find our longest continuous chain. So in this case it's going to be 4 carbons, which means that the parent or the principal name here is going to be butanoic acid. Of course, in this case, I do have a substituent, the methyl group, in the second position, which means that at the beginning of my name, I would have to indicate that this is a 2-methyl-butanoic acid for my full name. Or, if I wanted, I could use butyric acid if you like. Now, let's look at a slightly more difficult example here. Like in the previous case, the number 1 goes to the carbon of the carboxylic acid, and I have to find the longest continuous chain from that carbon, which in this case is going to be 6 carbons long, which means that the parent name here is going to be hexanoic acid. I do have a couple of substituents here. My first substituent is going to be the ethyl group at the second carbon, and my other substituent is going to be this chlorine at the 5th position. When we have multiple substituents, I will remind you, we gotta alphabetize them, which means that in this case, I would first have to indicate chlorine, so it will be 5-chloro, and then I would have to write 2-ethyl, because in the alphabet, C goes before E. Common trick on the exams, so make sure you always double check for your alphabetization here. Now, occasionally, we are also going to be seeing the common system using the Greek letters. In this case, if you're using the Greek letters, the carboxylic acid functional group by itself is not going to be counted, but the adjacent carbon to that is going to be the alpha position, similar to what we had in aldehydes and ketones. Then we have beta position, gamma position, delta position, etc. until the end of your molecule. So this way, if I really wanted to, I could take my 2-methylbutanoic acid and I can call it alpha-methylbutanoic acid. We are going to be using the Greek letters sometimes when we only have 1 substituent. However, if you have multiple substituents, that's already not a good idea to use your Greek letters instead of numbers, so I suggest you avoid those. use. Now, what are we going to do if we have dicarboxylic acid, so a molecule with two carboxylic acid functional groups, like let's say this guy? Well, in this case, the main chain, the parent chain, the principal chain if you like, is always going to be the chain connecting your carboxylic acids regardless of the length. In this case, that's a 6-carbon chain, which means that my parent here is going to be hexane dioic acid. And since I have two carboxylic acids here, I have to use the ending dioic acid rather than just oic acid to indicate that I have two carboxylic acid groups. Now, in this case, I do have a couple of substituents. We have a methyl group in the third position, and we have a propyl group in the second position. Like before, whenever I am putting my name together, I need to make sure that I alphabetize my things. That's why I'm going to say 3-methyl and then 2-propyl. So the name for this molecule is going to be 3-methyl 2-propyl hexane dioic acid. And of course, similar to aldehydes, we have a special case for the cyclic molecules. So for instance, if I look at the molecule like that, that is not going to be a cyclopentanoic acid. Such thing does not exist, so I'm going to cross it out. Instead, we are going to call it cyclopentane carboxylic acid. Yes, it has this ridiculous ending, but that's what the IUPAC says we need to use, so that's what we're going to use. Now, in terms of the numbering, the things work here in a similar way to regular carboxylic acids. However, the number 1, the position number 1, is going to be not the carboxylic acid itself, but the adjacent position to which it is attached in the ring. So in this case, if let's say I had a couple of other groups, let's say I have this OH and the methyl group, I would number the rest of my molecule, and by giving the full name, I would have to alphabetize my groups, of course. So in the second position, I have the hydroxy group. In the fourth position, I have the methyl group. So the full name for this compound is going to be 2-hydroxy-4-methyl cyclopentane carboxylic acid. Quite mouthful, I know. And finally, you are going to see a few common names that are absolutely must know. You have already seen methanoic, aka formic, and ethanoic, aka acetic acid that I have already introduced in this video, but on top of that, you also want to know oxalic acid, the malonic acid, and succinic acid when it comes to simple dioic acid. We also have a couple of molecules with double bonds, one being fumaric acid, which you are going to see in biochemistry, like in the Krebs cycle, for instance. And we're also going to have maleic acid, which is a common starting material for some organic chemistry synthesis. On top of that, we also have benzoic acid, and when it comes to benzoic acid, notice it does not have any other IUPAC name. There is no such thing as benzene carboxylic acid. It has to be benzoic acid. So while for everything that I have looked at today, we can use the IUPAC name, or we could use the common name, and that would not be a mistake. In the case of the benzoic acid, you cannot use benzene carboxylic acid. It has to be benzoic acid. That is one of those common names that was completely retained by IUPAC, and we do not have any other versions here. And of course, probably the most important out of all of these carboxylic acids is going to be bubdilike butanoic acid. Check out this video next, and I will see you next time.